take a deep breath in. Now hold it. Notice what you sense in your body. Maybe you feel a little bit of activation in your chest, maybe some tension in your upper neck. Maybe you start to notice your eyes kind of darting around a little bit, or maybe they're stuck in one position. Maybe you're starting to feel a little bit of a emergence of some kind of fear, and maybe your thoughts are starting to go to wondering when I'm going to tell you to exhale. For those of you who did not hold your breath, congratulations. Your body told you that this was just too uncomfortable, and you chose to take care of yourself. For those of you who did do the exercise with me, welcome. You may have experienced just a glimmer of the beginning stages of a state of anxiety. From an evolutionary perspective, anxiety is passed on to us by our ancestors as a kind of healthy fear that gives us the ability to fight, flee, freeze, or even faint in the face of danger. However, over millions of years, the development of our consciousness and the sophistication of our nervous system has somehow morphed that healthy fear into a self-made anticipation about the future. It's called anxiety. Anxiety affects all systems of the body, and the person suffering may experience lightheadedness or dizziness, dry mouth, palpitating heart, or stomach disorders. There's an interesting twist between the body and mind, whereas the body has all of those physical symptoms that I just described, yet the mind has the ability to decide what meaning is made from those bodily symptoms. For instance, I can feel my heart beating rapidly, whether I'm excited about seeing an old friend or a little nervous about giving an ADTA talk. Whether I'm excited or nervous, my body has the same physiological response. Gestalt psychologist Fritz Perls used to say, anxiety is excitement with no place to go. You may have experienced that when I first asked you to hold your breath at the beginning of this talk. It's almost as if there's too much energy stored up in the body, and it needs to be released in a way that a person feels in control. So in light of all this, I would like to introduce you to the concept of agency. Agency, as we know it in everyday life, means action, power, or operation. And neuroscientists have recently discovered a visual difference in the neurological correlates between having a body and moving your body, and that voluntary action produces a sense of agency. In other words, movement can turn anxiety into agency. Dance movement therapy works to restore the resonance between body and mind by using up that stored energy. And the dance movement therapy client moves their body into a meaningful form, a dance in the psychotherapeutic process. By moving with the dance therapist, the client can begin to develop creativity and self-control rather than just a catharsis or a relaxation exercise. So I'd like to tell you a story about a woman who I'll call Sasha, a 20-year-old college student who suffered from major anxiety disorder characterized by panic attacks and derealization. After several sessions, we traced her anxiety back to her relationship with her father, who was very critical of her, and he never really gave her any attention as far as what accomplishments she had done. One day, Sasha was talking in a session, and I said, "Sasha, would you like to try something?" To which she said, "Yes." And I said, "What if you," and please feel free to join me if you'd like to check this out yourself. I asked Sasha to take her right hand and to trace the back of her left hand and to just feel the landscape of the back of her left hand, just to be curious about it. And then after a little while, I asked her to kind of put her brain into the back of her left hand and feel herself being touched by her right hand, allowing herself to feel her own body boundary and allowing herself to notice where she begins and where the environment, where she ends and where the environment begins. We did this for a while, and then I had her move up to her elbows, and we did a similar exercise there. and then finally moving up to her shoulders so she could feel herself being contained by her own hands, feeling her own sense of her body boundary. Sasha brightened up at this point and said, "I'm hugging myself. I love this." Next, I said, "Sasha, let's do some movement. We're going to lift our arms and exhale." I was inviting Sasha to activate her nervous system. We're going to activate the sympathetic nervous system and the relaxation of the parasympathetic branch. Increasing and exhaling, decrease. Sasha was going a lot faster than I was. And I said, "Sasha, just try to follow me. Inhale and exhale." At one point, I said, "Sasha, how you doing?" She said, "I'm concentrating." So I said, "Okay, let's do something different. Why don't you move and I'm going to follow you?" Sasha perked up again and she said, "Can I do this?" I said, "Of course." She said, "Can I do this?" I said, "Yes." And we moved like that for a while, her moving and me mirroring her movement, helping her to feel a sense of her body and to be joined by another. Sasha's moving around and suddenly she started slowing down and she said, "Oh, I'm feeling so emotional. I don't know what's happening." And she said, "I feel cared for, like you care enough to do what I want to do." And after a moment, she said, "This is great. You should do this in a group." A week later, Sasha came bouncing into my office and told me that she made an appointment with her father on the phone and told him everything that she had been afraid to tell him in the past. And she said to me, "You know what? I don't know if he heard me or not, but it doesn't matter. I'm listening to myself now." Anxiety is a body-mind split that's created in the mind, but felt through the body. Dance movement therapy takes that energy and moves it through the body, turning anxiety into excitement and giving it some place to go.